What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Down South Dispatch, and episode 3 of The Boys Season 5 might be one of the most intense episodes yet, because everything is starting to spiral at the same time. And we kick things off in Russia, where a group of soldiers breaks into what they think is a black site, but it quickly turns into a nightmare as something starts picking them off one by one, moving fast, hitting hard, and before they can even react, they're completely wiped out. And then we get the reveal that it's actually Ryan hiding out, showing just how powerful he's becoming and how dangerous things are getting if he loses control. And from there, we jump back to Vought, where Soldier Boy is officially welcomed into the Seven, with Vought continuing to twist the narrative by blaming Starlight for everything and presenting Soldier Boy as some kind of hero. But things take a turn when Homelander goes off script and publicly reveals that Soldier Boy is his father, which creates tension immediately between them, especially since Soldier Boy isn't exactly proud of what Homelander has become. And meanwhile, the boys are trying to figure out why their virus didn't work, only to learn that Soldier Boy has something called V1 in his system, an early version of Compound V that makes him basically unkillable. And that realization changes everything because now the stakes are even higher, especially if Homelander somehow gets his hands on it. And while all this is happening, we get more cracks forming between characters as relationships are tested, with Huey trying to hold on to hope and protect Annie, while Kimiko and Frenchie are thinking about what life could look like after all this. But Butcher is still locked in on one thing and one thing only: taking Homelander down no matter the cost. And that leads to one of the biggest turning points in the episode when Butcher meets up with Ryan and starts manipulating him into helping with the plan, even going as far as telling him the truth about his mom and what Homelander did, which clearly hits Ryan hard and puts him in a position where he has to choose between the two sides of himself. And eventually Ryan agrees to help by setting up a meeting with Homelander, but you can tell he's conflicted the entire time. And while that's building up, the boys are dealing with their own chaos as they try to track down remaining V1 and end up in a tense situation where alliances shift, betrayals happen, and everything falls apart once again, including a major moment where Maverick turns on them after learning the truth about his father, which leads to a full-on fight where it looks like Huey is killed for a second before we realize he survived, adding even more emotional weight to everything that's going on. And just when things couldn't get worse, Stan Edgar betrays the team to save himself, proving once again that nobody in this world can really be trusted. And all of this leads to the biggest moment of the episode when Ryan finally meets Homelander, and instead of going along with the plan quietly, he confronts him directly and asks the question that's been building all episode about his mom. And when Homelander tries to lie his way out of it, Ryan can literally hear his heartbeat and knows the truth, and that's when everything explodes as Ryan attacks him. But even with all his power, he's still not strong enough to take Homelander down, and what follows is a brutal, emotional beatdown that shows just how far Homelander is willing to go, even against his own son. And by the end of it, Ryan is left broken on the ground while Homelander walks away like nothing happened, fully embracing the monster he's become. And the episode closes with Butcher finding Ryan barely alive, leaving us with a huge question about what happens next and whether Ryan can survive what's coming. And if this episode proved anything, it's that the lines between good and evil are completely gone and nobody is safe anymore. So if you enjoyed this recap, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think is going to happen next, because this season is only getting crazier, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.